Welcome back, I'm Tedward, and today, thanks to Bond Group in Waltham, Massachusetts, we're driving probably the nicest 1966 BMW 1600 in the world. In America, we're very familiar with the 2002s. They sold tons of them here in the 70s because we were in a gas crisis. People wanted smaller, more economical cars, but they also didn't want to sacrifice luxuries. And BMW's kind of made that transition between sporty and luxury really easy for people. But before that, in the 1960s, the 1600 was a very European thing. People were not buying these in the United States. So this is one of very few that I have ever seen. If actually, this might be the only one I've ever seen. And this particular car is pretty much all original. The only thing that's been done to it is a front sway bar has been added, and this derby gray paint was redone in the 90s. But this was delivered to Malmö, Sweden, and then made its way up to the Arctic Circle in August of 1966, where its single owner owned it until about 2002. Because there's basically no salt or corrosion in the Arctic Circle, this lived a really charmed life. And then it was later brought over to the United Kingdom and then to United States, where it's here with us. And it's changed hands a couple times. Steve Serio, owner of Bond Group, has actually owned this car before, sold it, bought it back, selling it again. He's a BMW guy deep down. He may look like an Aston, a Rolls-Royce, a Bentley, a Porsche guy, but somewhere deep down, he can't help himself from buying exceptional examples of 1600s and 2002s. And this might be the nicest BMW I have ever featured on this channel. Let's take a quick look around. First of all, design-wise, it's going to look a little bit familiar to a 2002. However, one thing that you'll notice on this 1600 is just the attention to detail. It looks like the 2002 was a cost-cutting exercise when you start getting down and dirty. There's these little accent pieces here and in the rear. And in the front, this crest must be some sort of Swedish BMW club. I don't know what it is. So if you're familiar with that crest, let me know. Hopefully it's something bad. We're not driving around with something horrible and vile. I would assume that's a celebration of the car and the owners. Down here, you've also got these cool rally lights with like giant bulbs inside. These Bosch rally lights look fantastic. This one, unfortunately, got a big old crack. There are some cool covers, BMW covers that are original. They look like they're gonna fall off. So that's why we're not driving with them today, because we'll probably lose them on the freeway. And around back, the details continue. You've got this bar that goes across between the two gorgeous round taillights. Obviously, you don't have to have a keen eye to notice this has a tow hitch on it. And it really, I mean, this is legit. I mean, it's got a little guy here to plug in your trailer and it with lights and everything. Obviously, you're not towing anything big. I'm pretty sure that the original owner might have been towing a canoe or a kayak or something, but nothing too significant. But it is very cool that that's the situation. Now, here's the deal. You're towing with a small little car. That's going to make it squat. Well, in the back, under that rear seat, there's like a bicycle pump and there's air bladders inside the shock absorbers, and you can actually stiffen up the springs so that way when you're towing it doesn't squat. I mean, they really thought of everything for these cars, and it's so brilliant. Back here, familiar BMW operations, gorgeous trunk. And this is the thing, you can tell that they retained the original color because the exterior of the car, like I said, was repainted derby gray in the 90s, but everything inside, this is all original. So you can really get a feel for the originality of the car, and you can understand that they didn't just strip everything inside, they left that alone. And that is great because it gives you proof that it is brought and restored to its original glory in the color and not just a total spit roasted thing. Under here, check this out. This is really neat. We'll pull this guy off gently. We've got our spare tire back here, and it's date stamped. So you got 1268. So this would have been a not original wheel for this car, but probably somebody found that and said, hey, we'll throw that in there. Who knows what happened to the original, but we'll check the others to see how original those are. I love the way everything closes. You've got the Swedish plate on the back. I like when people retain things like this. Okay, inside, before we get under the hood, this is a fully original interior. This has not been restored. This has not been touched. These seats are pristine. And you know why they're pristine? It's because about a week or two, we think, after the car was brought home in 1966, the owner's mother, out of a blanket, created these seat covers. And these are legitimately from 1966. So you can see the exterior side and the interior side of these. So you can tell a little bit of fading took place, but maybe not heavy sunlight up in the Arctic Circle. But this right here is what has maintained these seats over all these years to be just absolutely perfect. Look at this. I mean, I can't even understand. This feels like a museum quality piece, and I'm so excited to be able to drive it. Right here, these little glass guys open up for ventilation, which is lovely. You've got great solid roll down windows, and all the glass is original. I do believe that the windshield was replaced, but it was replaced with proper West German glass, so everything's exactly the way it's supposed to be. BMW 1600, this badge I think was deleted in the 2002 era, so that's also pretty unique to this car. The dashboard, the glove box, all the controls. I mean, really, there's legitimate craftsmanship and build quality in this car that I just was fully unaware of in these things, because every time I've been in or near a 2002, they've always been a little bit rickety. They've been used. I mean, you're talking about cars from the 70s, so if they've lived a life, it's not unusual. But because this car has never been taken apart, everything is rock solid, and it's fantastic. We're going to put these seat covers back on just because I'd like to do my part in retaining this quality interior along the drive. Down here, you've got this lever. You push it forward. It releases that hood, and this pops right up, revealing our pretty rock solid single overhead cam 1600, and it feels fantastic. This car is such a joy to drive. I can't believe it. And it's got a 4-speed manual transmission that is so direct and precise and easy. And it's funny, you can even look, this is an M10, you can look down here and it's like you can see the heritage that led up to the E30 engines, and it's just all familiar. You can tell that painstaking efforts went into making these good, sporty, drivable, and economical cars. You've got the proper tags with all the numbers on the chassis and here. It's always good to know that you've got like a proper numbers matching car. And what's also kind of fascinating about this is that it's a 6-volt system, which is not unusual for older cars, but I kind of would have thought that would have graduated in the mid-1960s into 12 volts, but here we are with our 6-volt system. So make sure you know what you're doing if you're going to jumpstart a car like this, or you're going to charge it. Got some fuses right here, which is actually really interesting to me because that placement of these fuses, it's essentially the same placement that carried on for another 30, 40 years. I mean, there's a fuse box in my E39 M5 that I believe is directly where those fuses are. So there's just odd little heritage things that as a BMW nerd, looking through the DNA, trying to find the pedigree in newer cars, more modern cars, you can actually hunt and find what you're looking for. Close this up. Oh, so good. The pedals are mounted to the floor, a little like a 911, but not quite, but really familiar and easy to use. I don't know if that's just because I'm a Porsche nerd and I'm used to that, or if it's because these are really intuitive. Great steering wheel. This does remind me a little of a Porsche 356, just because you've got that great thin sort of plastic wheel. The door handles are fun. You actually just pull and squeeze right there. And then to start it, we've got this really unique little key. It folds, but it only folds in one direction. So we've seen folding keys before, typically in Ferraris, I think, if memory serves. But that just goes in right here. Good neutral. Amazing. All right, one thing that's a little bizarre. First, we'll taste the horn. Cute. This is your directional. It's on the right side of the column, not this. So from what I've gathered, we've got lights, I think more lights, cigar lighter, whatever you prefer, and wipers. There you go. We've got a little ashtray down here beneath the presumable wear your seatbelt in Swedish. Tag, Pal. I can't read all of it because it's all messed up, but that's okay. And killer glove box. This is fantastic. So we will heed the advice, despite the fact that the seatbelt is a little goofy, and I don't think I can get it to tighten. But you know what? At least it looks like I'm wearing it. Great handbrake in the first. Tiny bit of clunkiness, but only from the suspension. It may actually just be because that sway bar stiffened up the front end. Got some little whistles here and there, so you can silence those. These were not designed in a wind tunnel, I can tell you that much. Even this dashboard's unique to the 1600 versus a 2002, which is more familiar. Ooh, check out this Evo. Hang on. Might have to say hello to this guy. That's gorgeous. All right, we're communing with the car community. They've been doing some road work up here, so we're gonna cool it before the speed bumps, but I am just astonished. I mean, it's still a BMW, it still handles. Is it fast? No, but it has the character that we associate with the BMWs, even up to the 90s. The fact that this just lets me go into first gear when I want to, it's not clunky. I mean, really, the car feels brand new. And I don't know how else to communicate that other than just driving it and showing you how little effort I'm putting into the drive. Because sometimes I do get into classic cars and it does take a lot of effort to make it look like it's driving well. And this is just not that. All the VDO gauges suit this so well. They look classy, but they're not too nice. They suit the car. They suit the aesthetic of sort of a classy businessman or professor who appreciates the driving experience, but also appreciates an economical little car that they're going to have to work a little harder for the speed. You know, this is a momentum car. We're on a 13-inch wheel, which on these roads, before they patch them all up after a harsh, nasty winter that we've had, this might as well be a Rolls Royce. We're just gliding over this because we've got tons of sidewall. I really wish BMW gearboxes felt this good today. I think we hear the term slow car fast overused in the journalistic world of car reviewing. This is a little bit slow car slow. I mean, there's only so much available grip. It doesn't weigh much, but let's see, we'll go down here. Seeing sand in this car feels like I'm on a bicycle, like, ooh, careful. But I am able to kind of toss it around and stay what seemingly is within legal limits. And I'm having a very good time doing it. Everybody smiles at this thing. I think part of it is the style, part of it is the condition. And then there's those who kind of know. Because like even if you're sort of a BMW guy and you're used to it 2002, you see this and you go, wait a minute. There's something a little more European about that. There's something a little different about that. This is more comfortable to drive this road right now in this car than it was when I was just driving a 944. Let's go down this way. Nice and easy through the school zone. There's a local car museum called the Lars Anderson Auto Museum in Brookline, Massachusetts, and throughout the warmer months, every weekend is essentially a lawn event where there's going to be Cadillac Day, BMW Day, German Car Day, Extinct Car Day, Transporter Fest, all these different types of car shows. And this is one of those cars that would really steal the BMW show and get people going. I mean, you can bring whatever brand new M3, M5, M2 CS you want. Who cares? Because this is unrepeatable. This is all original. You can't make this again. There's a big Ferrari show at that museum. It's called, well, it's not Ferrari show, it's an Italian car show called Tutto Italiano. It's a great show. I have noticed that over the years, it's skewed more newer and newer cars, and I'm hoping that we can attract more and more vintage Italian cars, because that's what I'm interested in. The same way I'm not interested in seeing a BMW dealership lot. I'm interested in seeing a survivor. I'm interested in seeing a car that was looked after and loved. And this is the kind of car where if it was in someone's estate after they pass away, someone's gonna hang on to this. Someone's gonna really make choices on whether you sell it or not. blown away by how solid everything feels. Even this clutch, every single component in this car feels like it's brand new. It's really buttoned down. I used to think like Alphas were really incredibly locked down for their age, and now I'm driving this, and this is more locked down than pretty much anything from this time period I've ever driven. I'm blown away. How quiet it gets on the highway. I mean, it's a box. I feel like I forgot to mention the greenhouse of it all. I mean, this is staggering levels of visibility. There's just thin little A-pillars, and obviously safety is sacrificed for that kind of visibility. Thin doors, lots of space, but I can see absolutely everything. And this is one of those cars where, yeah, I've only got one mirror, or I guess I've got a rear view mirror, but I've only got this little guy on the door. I feel like I don't even need it on that side just because it's so easy to over the shoulder check and see everything that's right next to you. An Autobahn burner it is not. I don't have a tack, but I can tell that doesn't want to go a whole lot faster than this. Every time I see another BMW on the road, I want to say you're welcome. Like, this is your heritage, man. I don't really want to be in her blind spot. I think car enthusiasts get so obsessed with speed and power and performance, and occasionally, when they're lucky, they get to drive something that's a little outside of their normal realm of desire. And every time I get into something like this, it centers my enthusiasm, and it reminds me of what I like about cars. I do like going fast. It is fun. But there is a real sense of enjoyment in driving something a little odd, a little strange, a little underpowered, as long as it's beautiful and tactile and interesting. It doesn't always have to set the Nürburgring lap time. It doesn't always have to be the star of the show at a drag race or a track day. Sometimes it's just the thing that gets you down to the shops with the most fun, or you see the most smiles. I feel no blows to my ego as a man being passed by a Camry or a Jetta. I feel like I'm driving exactly what I want to be driving, and I couldn't be happier. this might be the slowest we ever take this on-ramp. I don't even think I need a downshift. Normally this is like a big run-up and then a downshift in the third and heavy brake. No braking. Oh, that's not the blinker. See? For every fast car I drive, there's a comment that says my Tesla Model 3 performance is faster. And I have nothing against the car, but I just do have something against the sentiment that that's the only benchmark of what's cool or what's valid or what reason you buy or want a car. And maybe that speed is valuable to some, and it is valuable to me, but it is not the value of a motor vehicle. And when you drive something like this, it really proves to you, like, what do I want? What do I like? For those of you who are discovering the 1600 for the first time, I hope this video was an accurate representation of what BMW used to be, even before the 2002 was out. For those of you who know the 1600, I sincerely hope that this captured a nostalgic vibe for you. Maybe you remember your 1600 or your parents' or your grandparents' 1600, and this brings back some of those smells and memories and you can hear it and feel it. But for those of you who know this very specific car, maybe you even saw this in Sweden or in the UK, I hope you feel like you got a chance to experience it again. But for those of you who want to experience this car and have the wallet to do so, this is going to be for sale on Bring a Trailer. So watch the Feminod username and bid high, because I have a feeling that this one is going to make some waves. And I sincerely hope that the next person is as good a steward of this 1600 as the first ever was, because really this is one of those impossible cars, one of those impossible survivors, but it wasn't in a bubble. It was used in the Arctic Circle. So thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Drive defensively, respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one.